All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call I am La Alahaina with Yahweh Bashim El Shai Bashim Harakakadash. We give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who will teach well, and hearty Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, your brother Karat is out back with another quick lesson, man. The Lord got me listening to the Book of Kings and doing some studying in it. And as going out through my day this morning, I was able to read over and listen over King Ahab and the things that the people of Israel, specifically the northern kingdom, had went through during this time, and there was a famine. All right, so during that famine, people didn't eat. Right, but there were certain situations that the prophets were taking care of. All right, especially Elijah. Okay, he was taken care of in two instances we're going to read. And if you are a man of the Lord and will continue and endure the things that you must continue and endure, then you're going to be fed and taken care of. All right, so this is First Kings chapter 17 and verse 1. I'm gonna read the verse 16. All right, because it tells us what happened to a prophet. All right, and us as men of the Lord, prophets of the Lord, we're gonna experience the same thing. You just gotta believe it, right? So it says, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as Yahweh power of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. And the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook of Cherith, if I said it wrong, Salakia, that is before Jordan, and it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee. Right? So this prophet, he heard the words of the Lord, right? And he did what the Lord commanded him to do, right? And the Lord set it up for him to have food and water. Just like it's going to be set up for us to have food and water in the times of Jacob's trouble and in times of famine and in times of distress, you and your family is going to eat. All right. You have to believe it. You got to tell yourself in your mind you believe it to be true. This is an example of how the Lord took care of his men. You are a man of the Lord, and the Lord's going to take care of you and your family. Right. It says, So he went and did according unto the word of Yahweh, for he went and dwelt by the brook of Cherith, that is before Jordan. And the ravens brought him bread and flesh goes into meat, all right? Lawful meats, okay? Not no pork, not, abominable foods like horse meat, right? Shit like that. Brought him in bread brought him bread and flesh in the morning and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while is a long time, right? So he was taken care of for a while. The Lord's going to do that as well. Take care of us throughout the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, you got to believe it. That the brook dried up because there had been no rain in the land, and who knows how long it takes for water to dry up. You know what? I'm gonna research. I don't know if I can while I'm recording. Let's see. It probably took a year or so, man. Okay. All right. I'm just going to speculate because I don't have my other phone and I can't look it up. Let me see. All right. It didn't come up specifically with an answer. I don't know if you can hear me, but certain this website says time to evaporate is affected by many variables: amount of water, temperature of water, uh, the posterity, the porosity of the floor, temperature of the air, relative humidity, and air currents. All right, so those are some of the characteristics, all right, that will cause water to dry up. All right, and though the variables of the air temperature, the depth of the floor, uh, those certain variables, it doesn't say that it was there, but after a while, it took some time for that brook to dry up. So throughout that time, he was being fed. All right, and throughout our time in Jacob's trouble, we're going to be fed. Okay, all right, that was the whole point. It says, and the word of Yahweh came to him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zar Epath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow there to sustain thee. So there's going to be women, all right, that's going to feed you. There's going to be people, all right, that the Lord will put the spirit on to feed you, all right. The Lord's going to put the spirit on people to give you bread and water and shelter and certain resources that you're going to need. This is what is saying specifically to the prophet Elijah Salakia, but you got to think of it in yourself in the future. This can happen to you, right? It says, so he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering sticks, and he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. Right? And she said, As Yahweh thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat, and that we may eat it and die, because there was a famine in the land. Right? And she said she had only a little bit left. And a person of no faith will think like, dang, well, the Lord said he commanded this woman to feed me, but she don't even have enough for herself and her son. So how's the Lord going to feed me, right? That could be a situation where somebody that lacks faith could think, right? But the Lord has an answer, right? And it says, and Elijah said unto her, Fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and for thy son. For thus saith Yahweh, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, meaning shall not deteriorate, all right? It shall not go to waste. The contents, all right, the flour, all right, will not go bad. Neither shall the cruse of oil fail until the day that the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. So the Lord gave this woman an abundant amount of food to feed herself and Elijah, right? And Elijah, all right, because that's what the Lord wanted to do, but also because the Lord is merciful, and the Lord set it up for it to be that way. All right. So this woman had abundance because she took care of a prophet, right? And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. Look at that, a long time. So the Lord fed Elijah for a long time. All right. A while by the brook of Cherith, and uh, many days. All right, with this woman and her son. All right, Shalom, Yahabashima, Shabashim, Kardash Bakatah, brother. All right, and the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, because according to the word of Yahweh, which he spake by Elijah, right? So the Lord fed Elijah for many days, right? And I'm going to read over here in the book of Kings, the 18th chapter, all right, about Obadiah feeding prophets, okay? All right, because it's going to happen. You're gonna have righteous men and righteous women, all right, feed you, and you're gonna have the unrighteous doing that because the Lord's gonna put the spirit on these people to feed and take care of you. All right. This is First Kings 18 and 1. And it came to pass after many days that the word of Yahweh came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go shew thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And Elijah went to show himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of the house. Now Obadiah feared Yahweh greatly. That's important, right? Shalom, brother. Let me get this brother Damawa's precept. Brother's always diligent. This is Jeremiah 23:5. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And justice and judgment, all right, is going to come, and it's going to come heavily on the people that don't believe in the Lord, man. All right. Verse Isaiah 16:21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. All right. When we get into the land, the people of Israel is going to be in a righteous state again. All right. The people of Israel is going to be blessed, and that's going to show the glory of the Lord, right? Like Esau got all these mansions and all these high-tech fancy things. That shows his glory, man. But when the Lord put us in our righteous state, it's going to show the glory of the Lord and how much he loved Israel. This is Proverbs 11:28. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. And the elect, all right, and the prophets of the Lord will that we are of that elect, we're going to flourish, man. All right, we're going to flourish in this time, all right, in regards as being able to be sustained in the times to come, all right, during Jacob's trouble and in the kingdom, man. All right, we're gonna be out of this world, man. I can't even put it into to certain. I can't put it into a certain sentence, but nonetheless, the water from the precepts, brother. Verse 4 says, For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of Yahweh that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water. Right? So there you go. You're going to have people coming against you. All right? Persecution. Let me get that, man. All right? You're going to have people coming against you, and you're also going to have people that are with you. And like the Lord has showed Elisha through Elijah, all right, that there's more of them that are with us, the angels of the Lord, that it is that had that strong army that tried to come up against them, right? It's going to be like that in the days of trouble, man. The Lord's going to be putting the spirit on people to protect us and take care of us, man. We just got to continue to do what we need to do for the Lord, which is first and foremost have that faith of Abraham, and then continue to do the work, man. All right. Let me see. All right, this is Matthew 5 and 11. It says, Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. And these men that Jezebel had put to death, all right, they were prophets of the Lord, man. Just as brothers in this time that we coming into, some brothers may be put to death, man. All right. But nonetheless, when we know they pass away, they're going to be with the Lord, man. All right. But the whole point is that they were fed. You're going to be fed. I'm going to be fed. Your family's going to be fed. All right. We just got to continue in the Lord, man. All right. Let me see. Verse 12 in Matthew 5, it says, Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Right. And we read an example, right? The woman Jezebel, all right, she cut off the prophets of Yahweh. And then Obadiah, all right, a man that feared the Lord in the time of King Ahab, took 50 in a cave and fed them, and he hid them. Why won't the Lord do that now, man? All right, the Lord is going to do that now. He's going to do that. He's going to protect us. We just don't know in what way He's going to do it, right? But He's going to have people to set us up, and He's going to be out there leading us and guiding us, man. So in the times of trouble, we're going to be fed. Let me get this in Job. This is going to be it. And Yahweh Desire could do another lesson today. This is Job chapter 5 and verse 19. It says, He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, and 7 there shall no evil touch thee. And famine He shall redeem thee from death. I want to read this in this Better English Version Bible. Salakia, verse 20 in the Better English Bible on the Salakia. The Lord's going to set it up to where men and or woman, a man or a woman can feed you that believe in, or individuals that just have an abundance of something that can feed you, man. He's going to deliver you from death in regards to the lack of food, right? I don't know if y'all heard what I had read, but I had read in the Better English Bible that the Lord, it was let me see if I can read it from here and my mic don't shut off. It says here, when there's no food, He will keep you from death. And that was in Job 5 and 20. It said, when there is no food, He will keep you from death. He's going to keep you from death by feeding you by the hands of other people. Or in the case of Elijah, He's going to lead you to a certain place and have animals feed you, right? Verse 21, back in the KJV, it says, Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. And destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. And the Lord's going to take care of us, man. That's all this lesson is about, man. We're going to be in situations where it's going to seem impossible. But let me get it. The brother had read this yesterday. Well, not yesterday, on Friday when we was at camp. This is Mark chapter 10, verse 27. And Yahweh shall looking upon them, saying, With men it is impossible, but with Yahweh, but not with Yahweh, for with Yahweh all things are possible. So if the Lord can have the spirit on birds, all right, to feed you, all right, well, not you specifically, but Elijah, then that's great, right? The Lord can do it for us. And the same thing in another instance with Elijah that we had read, the Lord had a woman's her food not to run out, right? Because all she did was give him a little bit of what she had, and the Lord blessed her abundantly with food until the rain came into the land. Her pot did not run dry with bread, with the meal or the flour for bread and the oil. It never went dry. So the Lord's going to set us up to be protected, man. He already got us set up to be in that set. We just got to get to it in life. To that stage, we just got to get to it in life, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and read this, and then I'm gonna close out. The brother Damawaki got Isaiah 58 and 14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken it. Right. So the Lord, when all this is said and done, the Lord's going to set us up on a high place, man. All right, and give us the things that the Lord had promised unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right. But while we in the times of Jacob's trouble, we have to still take delight in the Lord because of what we know throughout this precept that the Lord's going to give us, man. The Water Brothers posting those precepts. Lord will y'all's edify, keep the faith. Shalom.